Jacqueline Smith is a certified hypnotherapist as well as a gifted psychic and healer and a metaphysical teacher, and she's also an experiencer and a hybrid. Since early childhood, Jacqueline has had numerous experiences as well as telepathic communications with star beings, light beings, angels, and interdimensional beings. She's able to travel through her consciousness to other star systems and universes and remembers what she is shown. She's also a near-death experiencer. She joins us now. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi, Dean. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
It's my pleasure. We're going to talk about your experiences in your life as a hybrid. So I guess the first question is, when did you first learn that you were a hybrid?
Okay, so actually it took me a number of years to start to put the pieces together and to understand that I was a hybrid. And so I really began understanding this more deeply actually when I was in probably my 30s and 40s to understand who I really was. I felt like I never belonged here,
Mm-hmm.
and was trying to just figure out, who I was. And so with that, as I put the pieces together, then I understood that I was a hybrid. I had, I call them my star parents, had actually come to me and given me information, but also I remembered when actually when I was in my mother's womb, they had taken my mother aboard the starship and injected me, I call it, with a DNA cocktail of 7 different races.
Right.
And so that genetically altered who I was. It enhanced the abilities I have to be able to do what I'm here, what I'm doing
Yeah.
here on Earth.
Well, I want to touch on that a little bit later, but first, I guess the first thing, when you say you felt like you didn't belong, what kind of feelings did you have?
Yeah, a very lonely feeling like I did not belong on Earth, that Earth was not my home. And like many experiencers feel, I felt like someone had kind of dropped me off here
Mm-hmm.
and took off, left me here on my own, was the feeling. And I had a lot to work through as a child and a teen, and that with all of those feelings. I felt that I wasn't like everyone else, and I had these psychic abilities that I didn't quite know what to do with. And some of those abilities freaked my mom out. And so it's, it took me a while to really begin to understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling.
I mean, was your mum aware that she had been taken aboard a craft and while she was pregnant, and she knew how this all began?
I think she definitely knew on a subconscious level. She always said to me, "You're really different."
Mm-hmm.
So, but she did not have conscious memories. They had blocked those memories, I think, I don't think my mother would have coped very well
Right,
with
right.
having those memories. So they actually blocked her from remembering that.
So you mentioned psychic abilities. So what other differences are there between a hybrid and an actual human?
Well, the abilities that have been enhanced with me, I've always been telepathic, and I've been an animal communicator for over 40 years. So it's always been natural for me. Telepathy always seemed natural to me, the most direct way of communicating, and why do we have all these words?
Yeah, yeah.
and and so my abilities with animals, I can know what they're thinking, feeling. I can look through their bodies and tell what's going on. I can do the same thing with humans, and working with people as well. I'm able to tune into them at a really deeper level, at the soul level, as well as other levels. And also, as a child and later on, off and on, I'm telekinetic. So I've had experiences of walking in a grocery store down an aisle at times where the cans would start flying off the shelves,
Wow.
and light bulbs blowing out. I have to watch myself around my computer. If
Hmm.
my frequency goes way up, I've blown out phones and things like that. So it's been interesting learning how to harness those energies, and my focus is on being of service.
Yeah. So with the animals, I mean, we often refer to as animals. I mean, they're just there for us. So they actually think. How do they think? I mean, they think like us?
Well, when I communicate with them, they are sending out um, vibrations. So, and when it comes to me, my brain is able to translate those energies into words. But the animals are always communicating telepathically. We could say energetically, of course, it's not in words like
Hmm.
we have.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so much more in touch than we are, than humans are. They're aware of everything around them. They pick up all our thoughts and attitudes and feelings, and can be mirrors for us
Hmm.
as well.
I guess the burning question then is, as a hybrid, what ET race is in your DNA? Is it one, or is it a combination of several?
I have actually a combination of 7. And so I think of myself, sometimes I call myself a blended soul, or a blended hybrid soul. So I have a race called Quabar, which is I call it my original star race. And that's from, we call it the 7th universe outward from Earth.
Hmm.
It's all etheric, it's not physical. And also my star parents in this life are the tall white zetas, and it's their ship that I was on most of my childhood, and the ones who enhanced my abilities. And then I have Arcturian Zeta. I have angelic in me, a dolphin being like race. And also we could call it kind of and I guess an amphibian race.
Right, right.
So,
We've spoken a lot with Mary Rodwell, who's done some amazing work with ACERN, and she speaks of star children remembering lives on other planets. Is that the case with you?
yes, I am able to remember lifetimes I've had as an Arcturian when I was the commander of a ship,
Hmm.
actually, and where my home was, and my family. Actually, I've connected with 2 other people who were part of that life, and they remember it as well, which is really fun.
Right.
Fun. And I've lived many more star being um, lifetimes than I have human. I've lived as a dolphin-like being. The dolphins here are ancestors, we could say distant ancestors or cousins of the dolphins here, that came from this race, who are very dolphin I call them dolphin-like beings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess another question that comes to mind quickly then, having lived these previous lifetimes on other worlds, are we talking about a soul being transferred during these lifetimes? Is that where we're getting at here?
I'm not sure what you mean by transferred.
Well, I guess once your life is ended on a particular planet, I guess your soul is left your body. Is it designated for somewhere else?
Yes, my experience is the soul then decides what form to take in that next lifetime, for the sake of learning and for whatever the purpose might be. The soul is living many lifetimes at once, so it's all simultaneous in
Right.
that sense. So yeah, my experience is that my soul processes the lifetime and then decides to reincarnate, maybe as an Arcturian, maybe as a wolf-like being in another planet, maybe as a star, maybe as a cat on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on what the soul decides is the best form to come into for learning and offering what that frequency of the soul has to offer.
Is that the case for non-human hybrids as well? You know, for example, my soul, will it have also experienced life elsewhere?
Yes, yes,
But
definitely.
we just aren't able to remember.
Correct, yeah. And so, we are all cosmic citizens, and everyone on Earth is a starseed, or, looking at it from a bigger perspective, everyone is really a hybrid. We just People have asked me to talk about my story, so sometimes we refer to being hybrid as having been genetically altered somehow, either before we were born or up into early childhood or so. And so that's how the perspective I talk from is a hybrid. But in the bigger sense, we're all star seeds, we're all hybrids,
Okay.
cosmic citizens.